If you are over 60 and you have been feeling a little more tired than usual, a little more foggy in the head, or you just have this quiet feeling that something in your body is not quite right, do not scroll past this video. What I am about to share with you could be the difference between catching a serious problem early, while it is still easy to fix, or finding out the hard way in a hospital bed, months or years from now. There are 8 signs your body gives you when your blood sugar is running too high, and most of them do not look anything like what you have been told to watch out for. No dramatic collapse, no obvious warning bell, just small, quiet changes that people brush off as getting older. Doctors call this the silent stage of high blood sugar, because by the time the classic symptoms show up, the damage has often already begun. Stick with me until the end, because the 8th sign is the one almost nobody talks about, and it is often the very first one to appear, sometimes years before a diagnosis. If you are new here, welcome to Prime Health Insight, the channel built for people who want simple, honest health information without the confusing medical jargon. Hit that subscribe button right now because every week we break down the real signs your body is sending you, explained the way a caring doctor would explain it to their own parent. Now let's get into it. Before we walk through these 8 signs, I want you to understand something important. High blood sugar, which doctors call hyperglycemia, does not only happen to people who have already been diagnosed with diabetes. It can creep up on anyone, especially after 60, because as we age, our bodies naturally become less efficient at handling sugar from the food we eat. Our muscles shrink a little, our activity levels often drop, and many common medications for blood pressure or cholesterol can quietly raise blood sugar as a side effect. Add to that the fact that nearly half of everyone living with type 2 diabetes in this country is over the age of 65, and you start to see why this matters so much for you and for the people you love. The tricky part is that high blood sugar rarely announces itself with a bang. It whispers, and if you know what to listen for, you can catch that whisper long before it becomes a shout. There's another reason this matters so much after 60. Many of the signs we are about to cover overlap almost perfectly with what people assume is simply normal aging. Feeling tired, needing glasses updated more often, healing a little slower, having a headache now and then. Because these things can happen for many harmless reasons too, it becomes incredibly easy for a real, treatable blood sugar problem to hide in plain sight for years. This is exactly why so many people are surprised when they finally get tested and learn their numbers have been elevated for a long time without them realizing it. The goal of this video is not to scare you. It is to give you the same kind of insight a very attentive doctor or a very observant loved one might notice about you, so that you can act on it while it is still simple to manage. The first sign, and probably the one most people have actually heard of, is feeling unusually thirsty, paired with needing to use the bathroom far more often than normal, especially at night. Here is why this happens. When there is too much sugar floating around in your bloodstream, your kidneys go into overdrive trying to filter it out. To do that, they pull extra water from your body and flush it out through urine along with the sugar. That is why you might find yourself getting up 2, 3, even 4 times a night to use the bathroom, when you used to sleep through until morning. And because your body is losing so much fluid, it sends out thirst signals constantly, even if you just had a full glass of water 10 minutes ago. Many older adults chalk this up to an aging bladder or just drinking more water because it's healthy, and sometimes that is exactly what it is. But if this pattern shows up suddenly, and it sticks around for more than a week or two, it is worth paying attention to. Your body does not usually change its habits for no reason. The second sign is a kind of tiredness that sleep does not seem to fix. You know the difference between being tired after a long day of yard work and being tired for no clear reason at all. This second kind, the unexplained kind, the kind where you wake up after 8 hours of rest and still feel like you have not slept, is worth noticing. When your blood sugar stays high for too long, your cells actually struggle to pull in the glucose they need for energy, even though there is plenty of sugar sitting right there in your blood. It is a strange kind of irony. Your body is starving for fuel while swimming in it. Your muscles feel heavy, your thinking feels slow, and even simple tasks like walking to the mailbox or preparing a meal can leave you feeling drained in a way that never used to happen. If you find yourself needing more naps than you used to, or if your energy crashes hard after meals instead of feeling nourished, this fatigue could be your body quietly asking for help. The third sign shows up somewhere you might not expect: your eyes. Blurry vision, especially when it comes and goes throughout the day, can be an early signal of elevated blood sugar. Here is what is happening inside your body. High glucose levels cause fluid to shift in and out of the lens of your eye, the small, clear structure that helps you focus. This shift changes the shape of the lens temporarily, and that changes how well you can see. Some people describe it as their reading glasses suddenly not working as well, or needing to blink several times to bring words into focus. Others notice it mostly in the evening or after eating a large meal. Because so many people over 60 already deal with normal age-related vision changes, like needing brighter light to read or struggling with night driving, this sign often gets missed entirely. It gets written off as just my eyes getting older, when in fact it could be your blood sugar sending you a very clear message. If your vision seems to fluctuate rather than steadily decline, that fluctuation itself is worth mentioning to your doctor. The fourth sign involves your skin, and specifically, how well your body heals itself. Have you noticed a small cut, scrape, or bruise taking noticeably longer to heal than it used to? Or maybe you have had more skin infections lately, or sores on your feet that seem stubborn and slow to close up. This happens because high blood sugar damages the tiny blood vessels throughout your body, including the ones responsible for delivering oxygen and nutrients to damaged skin. Without good circulation, your body's natural repair crew simply cannot get to the site of the injury fast enough. On top of that, high sugar levels can weaken your immune system's ability to fight off the bacteria that cause infections. This is one of the reasons doctors pay such close attention to the feet of people with blood sugar concerns, because a small, unnoticed sore can quietly turn into something much more serious if it does not heal properly. If you are someone who has always healed quickly, and you notice that is no longer true, do not ignore it. Your body is telling you something about what is happening beneath the surface. This is exactly why podiatrists and family doctors so often ask older patients to check their feet daily, even when nothing seems wrong. A callus, a blister, or a small cut on the bottom of the foot can go completely unnoticed for days, especially if nerve sensitivity has already started to fade, and by the time it is discovered, it may have already become a much deeper wound. Taking 30 seconds each evening to actually look at the bottoms and sides of your feet, maybe using a small hand mirror if bending is difficult, is one of the simplest habits you can build to protect yourself. Before we move to the fifth sign, I want to ask you something. If you have noticed even one of these signs in yourself or in someone you love, type the number in the comments below. It helps us know which topics matter most to you, and honestly, it might be the nudge someone else needs to see today. And if this video is helping you understand your body a little better, hit that share button and send it to a parent, a spouse, or a friend who might need to hear this too. It genuinely could change the course of someone's health. Now let's continue. I want to share something before we move on. Think about someone like Robert, 68 years old, whose wife had been telling him for months that he seemed off, more tired than usual, drinking water constantly, getting up at night. He brushed it off as normal aging, the same way so many of us do. It was not until his feet started tingling on a fishing trip, that strange numb feeling that would not go away, that he finally scheduled a checkup. His blood sugar came back significantly elevated. The good news is that because he caught it when he did, simple changes to his walking routine and his meals were enough to bring his numbers back into a healthier range within months. Stories like this are far more common than you might think, and they all start the same way: small signs quietly ignored until something finally makes a person stop and pay attention. I am hoping this video can be that moment for you, without needing the wake-up call to be quite so dramatic. The fifth sign is something many people describe as pins and needles, tingling, numbness, or even a strange burning feeling in the hands and feet. Doctors call this peripheral neuropathy, and it happens when prolonged high blood sugar damages the nerves that run from your spinal cord out to your fingers and toes. Because these are some of the longest nerves in your entire body, they are often the first to show signs of trouble. You might notice it most at night, when you are lying still and your mind is not distracted by daily tasks. Some people describe it as feeling like their foot has fallen asleep, but it does not go away no matter how much they shake it out or change position. Others notice a strange sensitivity, where even the light touch of a bedsheet feels uncomfortable. This is one of the more concerning signs on this list, because nerve damage, once it progresses, can be difficult to fully reverse. The good news is that catching it early, while it is still just an occasional tingle rather than constant numbness, gives you the best chance of protecting those nerves going forward. The sixth sign is one that surprises a lot of people: frequent headaches. We do not usually connect headaches to blood sugar, but the two are closely linked. When your blood sugar rises, your body pulls extra fluid out through your kidneys, as we talked about earlier, and that can leave you dehydrated. Dehydration is a well-known headache trigger. On top of that, sudden swings in blood sugar, whether it climbs too high or drops too low, can affect the blood vessels in your brain and trigger real physical head pain. If you have started getting headaches more often than you used to, especially ones that seem to show up a few hours after eating or that improve after drinking a large glass of water, it is worth considering whether your blood sugar might be playing a role. This sign is easy to dismiss because headaches have 100 possible causes, from stress to poor sleep to simple aging. But when headaches show up alongside any of the other signs we have already covered, that combination becomes much more meaningful. Some people find it helpful to keep a very simple notebook for a week or two, jotting down when a headache starts, what they ate beforehand, and how much water they drank that day. Patterns that seem invisible in the moment often become obvious once they are written down in black and white. And that small piece of paper can become incredibly useful information to bring to your next doctor's appointment. The seventh sign lives right inside your mouth, and it is one that even many doctors do not mention often enough: gum problems. If your gums have become red, swollen, tender, or if they bleed more easily when you brush or floss, this could be connected to elevated blood sugar. High glucose levels create an environment in your mouth that allows harmful bacteria to thrive, while at the same time weakening your body's ability to fight that bacteria off. This combination makes people with high blood sugar significantly more prone to gum disease, and it can happen surprisingly quickly. Some dentists say they are often the first ones to notice early signs of a blood sugar problem, simply because they see the effects show up in a patient's gums before that patient has any other complaints at all. If your dental visits have started to include more warnings about gum inflammation than they used to, do not just chalk it up to needing to floss more. Mention it to your regular doctor as well, because your mouth might be reflecting something happening throughout your whole body. Now, before I tell you about the eighth and final sign, the one I promised you at the beginning of this video, I want to pause and remind you that none of what I am sharing today is meant to replace a real conversation with your doctor. Think of this video as a flashlight, helping you notice things you might have missed so that you can bring them up with the person who actually knows your full health history. A simple blood test can tell you, with real certainty, whether your blood sugar is running high. It is quick, it is inexpensive, and for most people over 60, doctors recommend checking it regularly anyway. So if anything in this video sounds familiar, please do not wait. Book that appointment. It is one conversation that could add years of quality life to your future. Now, here is the eighth sign, the one that is often overlooked because it does not look like a medical symptom at all. It looks like a skin change. If you look closely at the back of your neck, your armpits, your elbows, or the folds of skin around your groin, and you notice a patch of skin that has become darker, thicker, and slightly velvety to the touch, almost like it is dirty even after washing. This can be an early physical marker of insulin resistance, which is often the very first step on the road to high blood sugar. Doctors call this acanthosis nigricans, and here is what makes it so important. It can appear years, sometimes even a decade, before blood sugar levels rise high enough to show up on a standard test. It happens because when insulin levels climb too high in an effort to manage rising blood sugar, that excess insulin actually stimulates skin cells to multiply and darken in these specific areas. Many people notice this change and assume it is simply a sign of aging skin, or they try scrubbing it, thinking it is dirt or a hygiene issue. It is neither. It is your body, quite literally, showing you a picture of what is happening inside your bloodstream. If you or someone you love has noticed this kind of dark, velvety patch of skin, especially combined with any of the other 7 signs we talked about today, this is not something to wait on. This is often the earliest, clearest signal your body can give you, long before you feel unwell in any other way. What makes this sign so remarkable is that it is completely free to check for. You do not need an appointment, a blood test, or any special equipment. All it takes is a mirror, good lighting, and 2 minutes of your time tonight, looking at the back of your neck, under your arms, and any other skin folds where this kind of darkening tends to appear. If you find nothing, wonderful, that is genuinely reassuring news. And if you do notice something, you have just given yourself a tremendous head start, the kind of early information most people never get until it is much harder to reverse. So there you have it, 8 signs, some obvious, some incredibly easy to miss, that your blood sugar may be running higher than it should. Excessive thirst and frequent urination, fatigue that does not go away with rest, blurry, fluctuating vision, slow healing cuts and wounds, tingling or numbness in your hands and feet, frequent headaches, gum problems that seem to come out of nowhere, and that dark, velvety patch of skin that so many people mistake for something else entirely. None of these signs, on their own, means you definitely have a blood sugar problem. Bodies are complicated, and there are many reasons any one of these things might happen. But when you start noticing 2, 3, or more of these signs together, that pattern matters. That pattern is worth a conversation with your doctor and a simple blood test that could bring you real peace of mind or catch a problem early enough to manage it easily through diet, movement, and small daily habits before it ever becomes something bigger. I want to say something directly to you because I know a lot of people watching this are either dealing with these signs themselves or worried about a spouse, a parent, or a close friend. Noticing these changes is not something to be afraid of. It is actually a form of power. The people who catch these signs early are the ones who go on to live full, active, independent lives well into their 80s and 90s because they gave their bodies the attention and the care they deserved before a small issue became a life-altering one. You watching this video today, taking the time to learn about your own body, that already puts you ahead of so many people who simply ignore these whispers until they become impossible to ignore. Think for a moment about what an early diagnosis actually looks like in real life, because it is rarely as frightening as people imagine. For most people, catching high blood sugar in these early whispering stages means a conversation with a doctor, a simple blood test, and then a handful of small daily adjustments. A short walk after dinner instead of sitting straight down on the couch, swapping one sugary drink a day for water or unsweetened tea, adding a few more vegetables to the plate and a little more protein at breakfast, getting slightly better, slightly more consistent sleep. None of these changes require a complete overhaul of your life, and none of them require giving up everything you enjoy. What they require is awareness, the same awareness you are building right now by watching this video all the way through. That is genuinely worth celebrating. Most people never get this far. They watch the first 30 seconds of a health video, decide it does not apply to them, and move on. You stayed. That says something about how seriously you take your own well-being, and it is exactly the kind of mindset that leads to a longer, healthier, more independent life. If this video gave you something valuable today, something you did not know before, or something that made you think about a loved one, I would genuinely love to hear from you in the comments. Tell me which of these 8 signs surprised you the most. Was it the tingling in the hands and feet? The dark patch of skin nobody warns you about? Or maybe it was something as simple as the headaches, something you never would have connected to blood sugar on your own. Your comments genuinely help other people find this video, and more importantly, they help me understand exactly what matters to you, so future videos on this channel can serve you even better. And if you know someone, a parent, a sibling, a neighbor, a friend from church or from your walking group who is over 60 and might benefit from hearing this, please take 30 seconds right now and share this video with them. It costs you nothing, and it could genuinely change how their next 10 or 20 years look. That is the whole reason this channel exists. Before you go, if you have not already subscribed to Prime Health Insight, now is the perfect time. Every week, we bring you clear, honest, no-nonsense health information made specifically for people who want to take control of their well-being as they age, without the confusing medical language and without the fear-mongering you see everywhere else online. We break things down the way we would want them explained to our own parents, our own grandparents, the people we love most. Hit that subscribe button, tap the notification bell so you never miss a new video, and if you found today's video helpful, give it a like before you leave. It genuinely helps this channel reach more people who need this exact information. Take care of yourself. Listen to the small signs your body gives you, because they are rarely as small as they seem. And I will see you in the next one, right here on Prime Health Insight.